Sunflower Story Hour, Season 2, The Ashes of SINA. Episode 3, Cassette, written by Giulyana Gamero. Last time on Sunflower Story Hour.
What was this place?
It's a city. These are no natural landforms.
It's some kind of sparkly device?
We'll rest up. Tomorrow we see if rescue comes. If not, we'll just stick it out.
Your lack of screaming is very appreciated.
What are you all?
We are SINA.
We'll go through this back window, and it won't see us. We can't stay here.
It said it was dying.
It's not our job to take care of it.
Friends, I think there's something more urgent to see.
In front of the group lay a singed and scorched earth, ruined by flame.
The land here, it's so interesting. Maybe we can deduce something from it.
There's still some wildlife here, though. They lived through whatever happened.
We should look more closely.
I'm gonna take some samples.
Reller reached into his suit pocket and unveiled some sample bags, scooping some scorched soil from the ground into one of the bags.
What can you figure out from taking samples of the earth?
Why? Many things. One thing we can deduce is what type of ecosystems can thrive here. This goes beyond just looking at the wildlife by giving us an in-depth look into the requirements of life. The pH level of the soil, in addition to its moisture level, can tell us what crops could have grown here.
But how does that help us figure out what happened?
My helmet has a scanner that can quicken the process of testing. Let's see here.
The scientist held up the bag in front of his helmet, a whirring coming from all the mechanisms working to scan the sample.
Oh, this is interesting. The soil is highly radioactive.
Why are you still touching it then? Are you crazy?
Our suits are built to protect us from radiation and a whole lot of other things. Didn't you learn this in training?
Yeah, sure. I was just making sure we were all on the same page.
Regardless of that, something must have impacted this land. My guess would be something from another planet or from space. While it could be something man-made, the scale of this impact is far too large.
I wonder what exactly happened here then. Whatever did this must have taken the people here too.
Absolutely. Vess, great deduction.
This place is a wreck. It must have been something pretty terrible to do this much damage.
Let's not linger for too long here. We'll try to find another place of shelter, clean up our tracks, and barricade the area. If we can find any place up high, we'll go there, and that should lessen the risk of being tracked.
I agree. 100%.
Where would we go though?
There's that big tower still in the distance. We can try to find something along the way there.
Isari gave a nod.
Let's go back then, from the way we came.
The Shiranid group banded together, making their way back toward the overgrowth, going through the city once more.
We're looking for some place that's tall, at least 4 to 6 stories.
Right. What about there?
Reller pointed toward a tall, partially collapsed building.
It's not in the best shape, but this works. We just need to be very careful in case it doesn't hold.
They approached the building closer.
There's still a sign out front. What does it say?
Most of the title is worn away, but it is something, bed and breakfast. Well, this place has beds and food. Sounds like exactly what we're looking for. Perfect.
We might not even be able to eat whatever breakfast they're serving here. Remember, we know virtually nothing of these people, let alone what they ate.
At the very least, they do eat.
Sorry, can't you be a little excited about anything, ever?
Isari rolled her eyes.
We are on the verge of death at any minute, and you want me to cheer for you? Absolutely not. Let's focus on getting into the place.
She walked up to the front door of the building and pulled open the door with a loud slam. The floor of the hotel lobby was entirely sunken in, with bits and scraps of cloth scattered around the perimeter, along with smoldering debris.
Whoa, this is...
A giant hole.
Well, this is just another deterrent for that thing. It'll be harder for it to reach us, but we should still try to go up some levels and barricade the front door with what we can.
Speaking of, Vess, how's your hand?
Shal turned to Vess, carefully reaching at the injury and examining the wound.
You lost a lot of blood.
I know. I feel so tired.
Only intensive surgery can be of help here.
Shal let go of her hand, lightly placing it at her side.
You shouldn't be moving any of the furniture.
Right. I'll scout out the room for us to stay in.
I'll accompany little Vess. I mean, she's injured and all, of course.
Isari felt that there was some ulterior reason behind Cathan's desire to help Vess, but she couldn't quite place it.
Fine, but be careful up there. We don't know how many other holes there are in the floor. Make sure Vess doesn't get hurt.
Oh, you worry too much. I'll take good care of her.
Both Isari and Vess gave an unsure look.
Yeah, that sounds...
Great! Let's get going up these steps.
Reller, Shal, help me with these tables. We'll stack them up against the door.
Meanwhile, Vess and Cathon trekked up the steps in silence for a moment until Cathon finally broke it.
Earlier, I believe I heard you mention speaking to the creature. The very same creature everyone is absolutely cowering over.
I probably shouldn't say anything else about it, to be honest.
I would never put you down or make you feel guilty over it, sweet Vess. On the contrary, I am ever so interested, actually. You can tell me.
Vess shuffled awkwardly up the steps.
Well, it said it was dying.
Isn't this a good thing, though? You sound almost upset.
It didn't seem like it was evil. It was telling me all sorts of things, like about humans. They were the people here before. It only found us because of our scent. It wasn't going to hurt us. It just wanted our help.
Cathon was now fully invested. He straightened his posture.
You know, Vess, I am a linguist. It's kind of my job to deal with things like what you're talking about. So, if you have any more information, you should... Oh, you know what? You should just introduce us. How does that sound?
Vess inched away from him.
Absolutely not. The captain would... I don't even know what the captain would do, but that's even worse.
Oh, please, Vess. You and I are both trying to make the best out of a terrible situation.
I understand that, but...
But if you really understood, you would help me see this creature. Help me talk to it.
I can't. I won't do this, so please, just stop asking.
At the sudden shift in demeanor, Cathon stared daggers into the scribe's eyes. Thoughts flooded his head, but he paused for only a second before his eye twitching turned into a bubbly wave of tentacles emerging from his face.
Don't you worry. I understand, my dearest Vess. Oh, look. We're on the 4th floor. Why don't we look at this room?
Cathon gestured to a room on the left where the door was still cracked open. The two entered, only to be met with opened luggage and an unmade bed.
Whoa, someone was in here before.
No, really?
Yes, really. Look at all this stuff.
Vess rummaged through the open suitcase, going through clothes and other paraphernalia, until she uncovered a cassette player.
Look at this little trinket.
Vess pressed a random button.
Oh, I think it's someone speaking. Can you make anything from it?
My scanner can translate some of this. There was a supernova alongside a coronal mass ejection. Well, that explains a lot.
What else?
I can't make much else out.
What?
Turn it off!
So, there's no one left?
Seems so. Regardless, we should tell the others we found a room.
Right.
The two made their way down the steps again, only to encounter a fully barricaded lobby.
Everything's good to go. Did you guys manage to find a room?
Yes, and we found this. It's a recording device with someone speaking.
And why are we playing with random things again?
Well, we listened to some of it, the non-damaged parts of it. And basically, there was a supernova that occurred far from here that impacted this planet. Then, there was a coronal mass ejection. That would explain why no one's here.
Look, I don't want to get involved in your sleuthing, but depending on how far this supernova was from the planet, that doesn't explain the entire lack of people here.
Well, it's a start. May I see that device, Vess? I would like to figure out how to record my own findings.
Yeah.
She handed the device to Reller, to Asari's dismay.
If we're done with all of this talk, can we go to the room now?
Yes. 4th floor. There are items left behind which can cover our scent. I know you wanted us to be cautious.
I'm glad you're being serious about this. Now, lead the way.
Come along, after me.
The group headed up the steps of the hotel into the room where the cassette player was found.
We should all stick together. Some of us can take the bed, then the couch, and floor. But we must stick together. Is that clear?
Everyone exchanged nods while Shal turned to Vess once more.
We should probably replace your bandages to prevent any infection. I have more gauze in my pack.
Okay, just be careful. It's still really sore.
Of course.
Shal slowly removed the crimson-stained bandages from Vess's hand, exposing her bruised and mangled fingers. He set them into a wire wastebasket before pulling out a new fresh roll of gauze, which he promptly applied to the wound.
Thank you, Shal.
Now, if everything has been taken care of, we should try to rest again.
Meanwhile, Reller seemed to be enthralled by the buttons on the cassette player Vess handed him earlier.
Oh, look! I think I figured out how to record on this thing. Look! Testing. Excellent. I'll be sure to use this later.
Alright, let's get to sleep.
I'm taking the bed.
Chthon flopped into the bed, while Vess was lightly placed on the couch. Shell and Asari shared the floor, and Reller sat up in bed next to Chthon. They all attempted to sleep, all managing to shut their eyes, except for one particular explorer. Chthon scrambled out of bed, looking around the room. Everyone was asleep. He took this chance to grab Vess's old bandages from the wastebasket and made his way downstairs. He was quiet, so as to not disturb the others, and encountered the barricaded lobby.
Doesn't matter if you don't want to help me, Vess. You already have.
He approached a love seat that was stacked against a window, and he crawled on top of it. He cracked the window open and unfurled a long strip of bloody gauze, leaving it partially hanging out before shutting it. Now clamped between the window frames, the gauze waved in the wind.
That should do it.
And then Chthon heard footsteps. He scrambled quickly underneath a table in the corner that was pressed up against the wall.
As I was saying, I would document what day it is, but I have totally no clue. The purpose of my recording today is to discuss the wonderful auroras that are occurring outside tonight. I am totally and completely awestruck.
Reller continued describing his fascinations, with Chthon worriedly looking on. The worry only intensified as he heard the growing sound of buzzing.
Hello?
And then it appeared, peeking through a window.
You are a different one to the last one we spoke to, but of the same race.
Oh, my.
You are so much more frightened than the last.
Vess was right. You are a mighty specimen. What are you?
The humans called us SINA. We are not one, but many.
Why are you here? How did you find us?
Your scent is very, very strong. It seems as though someone has helped us find you. Look.
The creature moved toward the window where the bloodied gauze was placed. Reller's eyes widened. Chthon furrowed his brow and bit his tongue from exposing his hiding spot.
That's Vess's. Why is that there?
We are unsure, but we can take it.
SINA rose and yanked the gauze from the window.
Vess, the one you were talking to before me. This is hers.
Perhaps she left it.
I'm not sure why. She said you were dying? Maybe she wanted to help you.
Oh? Maybe that was it? We are dying. We have been for a long time now.
Well, how may I be of assistance? If you are dying, I swore that I would only ever help those I encounter on our expeditions. So this means it is my duty to you, SINA.
You are the most peculiar, and we appreciate your willingness to help.
Reller opened the window to greet the creature up close.
You are a beautiful creature. Whoa.
It is shocking that you are so open to helping when you do not even know how to do so.
I will learn. I must admit that I am very afraid, but if I can help you, then I will. I may never have this chance again. I am a scientist. I know this situation is bleak, but we can ally, and I can show you a better life than this. All I require is your guidance. Only tell me how to help, and it shall be done.
Then, take my apology, and hold it closely.
How so?
For we are so very hungry, and so very, very sorry.
The creature quickly scrambled through the window and underneath Reller and sunk into the ground below him, creating a sinkhole, not unlike the other in the lobby. Moving far too quickly, not even a breath could be caught, leaving Reller's lips. The ground swallowed Reller, and SINA pounced, ripping into the fresh meat. Chthon held his hand over his mouth, trembling. The creature slowly emerged from the hole, no sign of the cartographer remaining, but a wild shaking from the large hole that was created. Arising from it, SINA froze, still buzzing. It acknowledged Chthon, inching closer to him.
Get out of here. Now.
Isari and the others ran down the steps to see the creature.
We were so hungry. Thank you.
The creature trailed up through the window and left, perhaps a bit bigger than before. Chthon emerged from underneath the table.
Reller is dead. Reller just died right here.
No, how?
It was that thing. It was talking to him, and it convinced him to help it. Well, that's not happening any longer.
And why were you down here?
I was trying to save the man. He had completely lost it by the time that thing ate him. It is the one making these holes in the ground.
Isari looked down at the fresh, smaller hole next to the large one from earlier.
I noticed Reller leave his bed, and I chased after him. But by then, the creature had already taken him up.
Chthon lied.
How did it find us?
Captain, The bandage.
The captain peeked through the window only to see Vess's old gauze laying on the floor outside. Cathan quickly perked up.
Vess, why would you do this?
What? That wasn't me.
It's your bandage, Vess. Please, be honest with us.
Vess was distraught, and the accusation only made her more emotional.
It wasn't me, Captain. I promise. I wouldn't do something like this. I was upstairs the entire time.
We were all asleep, and you were the only one who talked to the creature before tonight. You've had an obsession with this thing for a while now. I wouldn't be surprised if you wanted to bring it back here to talk to it again.
I hate to agree with him, but...
Cathan, you asked me to talk to it today.
Yeah, not while we were all asleep. Now look, Reller is dead because of you.
You've gone too far. Vess, from here on out, you are not to leave my sight.
Captain.
You are not to be alone. Do you understand?
Vess said nothing, but nodded her head.
And you, Cathan, stop asking about the creature. Stop instigating in every situation that arises. You didn't need to follow Reller tonight. And tomorrow, it may be you.
I see that now.
We should get back to bed. We have a few more hours before sunrise. Shut that window, Shell. It seems the creature fled as soon as it saw all of us. Perhaps it was waiting for one of us to be alone. So, we can stay for tonight.
The group made their way up the steps once again into the small room. Isari handed Vess a small blanket and a spare pillow before shutting her in a cramped closet. Guilt painted itself on the captain's face as she shut the door.
Good night, Vess. I'm sorry things have to be like this.
Vess said nothing, turning her back to the captain, and then the door shut.
Cathan, place that chair in front of the closet door. At least if she opens it, we'll hear the scraping.
Done.
I don't think any of us should take the bed. Doesn't feel right after everything.
Small murmurs of agreement were shared by everyone, and each person laid to rest. Vess, from the inside of the closet, tossed and turned and struggled to get to bed. However, when she did, Vess found herself in a dream. She said something, but the words couldn't come out, and she froze. Now, something greater was approaching her.
Hello? Are you...
January 8th, 2000, 11:42 p.m. This is the second message I am leaving after the catastrophic supernova event that occurred about 200 light years away, 2 days ago, devastating most of northeastern Canada and the United States, as well as the southernmost part of Greenland. Well, today there was a follow-up to this chaos. What Dr. Morales says was a coronal mass ejection. We've moved from our former lab in Winnipeg and now are operating in Toronto, where some of the damage has trickled over. We're tracking the damage to the ozone layer and are trying to mitigate as much exposure to the sun as possible, but I still fear for much of humanity. I'm just not sure how we'll recover. It's so hard to keep this all to myself, but even now, I look out of this hotel window into this beautiful aurora, hues of all sorts, and I think about my wife, my unborn child. All I feel is that things will come together. Maybe unexpectedly, but I know it. This is Dr. Simon Reed, Assistant Research Physicist.
Hello? Are you...
Who did Vess see in her dream? What insights will she encounter from it? Place your vote on our website at tinyurl.com/sunflowerstoryhour or on our Instagram at sunflowerstoryhour, and we will see you very soon for another episode. Thank you, and good night.